I'm Jean Othello here with Don Dada, and welcome to the first episode of Problematic Kings. Let's start this conversation by liking, commenting, rating, and subscribing on all platforms. So, what is Problematic Kings? The concept started because me and my two best friends, Don Dada and Sin, are all from totally different backgrounds, and we always have these outlandish debates, no holds barred. We say what we mean and apologize to each other later. And with that, today we will be discussing Mario Lopez's remarks on children being too young to decide on their gender identity. But before we get started, earlier I had Don Dada, who is a cis hetero black man from the South who typically watches ESPN all day. And I'm saying all this so you get the point. I had him watch Paris is Burning, a 90s documentary that follows the 1980s ballroom scene in New York. An underground lifestyle of gay and transgender black and Latino youth who compete in competitions on who looks the most realistic and are a part of the actual societies they are pretending to look like. And all this takes place during the height of the HIV epidemic. So Don, we just finished, for the most part. You got the gist of it. What did you think about Paris is Burning, the documentary?
I enjoyed the documentary. I think it was a good piece of work. It was a good project. But as far as what do you want me to describe about this?
Be honest. What is your feelings?
Are we relating this to the Mario
Yes,
Lopez?
yeah, like
what
just in
right
general,
now?
the documentary, and then
I'm just gonna be honest.
be totally honest.
With the documentary, I have empathy for people, and I enjoyed it first and foremost. But as far as I guess the topic at hand, I get that these people want to be able to do like anybody else in the world and be able to coexist without having to think about, what somebody else is going to think. But just like anybody else in the world, and this is the conversation me and you have all the time. And two things I want to bring up from this documentary that I kept on hearing, and it was repetitive in this. It was consistent.
Yeah.
The one that passed away, the one I could think of in particular.
Venus Extravaganza.
Yes, Venus.
If you didn't watch the documentary, what he's talking about, there is a transgender woman.
Rest in paradise.
Rest in paradise. She was murdered during the documentary because it started off in like 1984. Then they fast forward like 5 years later, but they said she was murdered while hustling or prostituting, whatever you call it. But go ahead. What were you saying?
I was just going to say, I remember when it was going back to her and another transgender woman.
Mm-hmm.
They were just saying, what they wanted out of life. She wanted to get married. She wanted this. But then I kept hearing something, not just from them two, but this is very prevalent towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
They said they want people to recognize them. They want people to recognize them. They want people to see them. Mm-hmm. And I think where the confusion goes or comes from me, or maybe from people who are transgender when they try to convey it. Mm-hmm. And I get we're all human, so I hate when we try to separate so many things. It's just like what you're feeling is like nobody else. But I think about it this way. When you get a lot of young black kids, especially guys, males, you're going to say, hey guys, we know we all like sports, like you like to watch ESPN, but not all of us can aspire to be athletes because the percentages are it's going to be slim to none.
Yeah.
Maybe one out of this select few, and that's maybe, is going to go pro. But where I'm just coming from, a lot of the transgender people that I saw in this documentary, they were all in the high-end fashion, modeling, voguing, very eccentric shit. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, when I look at that, and I'm just speaking in this as a whole, my synopsis, number one, I just feel like, and I know this is in New York, so I get where it's based off, the premise of it, and I'm not missing the point, but even here in North Carolina, we got a lot of people who, I can't say I know a transgender per se, but even like homosexual people who aspire to do whatever they want to, like anybody else in life, but when you hear the consensus, not saying everybody, I don't want to, stereotype, right? But it's always something like very flamboyant. And I say, okay, maybe you feel like these are the only segments or opportunities you can aspire to be, but just like anybody, you can't sell yourself short. And two, I tell you financially all the time. That's a lot of fucking money. I feel like at the end of the day, you should love who the fuck you is. At the end of the day, I don't give a fuck if you fat, black, white, got a big head, got big feet, big lips, big eyes. At the end of the day, your flaws are who make you what you are. Even after you have them surgery, I guarantee you not everybody likes the results of their surgery. So you may end up doing all that shit and still hating your ass. At the end of the day, forgive me. I don't want to speak too much. I'll let you say. That's just a little bit. You get a little bit what I'm saying.
No, I mean, I get where you're coming from. Originally, when I watched the movie, even as a gay man, I had no idea of the ballroom culture and like the ballroom scene. That was like nothing that I've never did, like, period. No, nothing I was ever around, like, because the only, I would say, like, gay men I was around until I moved to North Carolina was like guys that I was dating. So I never really got out and, you know, saw like the whole gay lifestyle. So I guess I looked at it a little differently, and then it also taught me to like understand the transgender community as well. I'm not gonna lie, like, growing up, I kind of looked at them differently than what I do now. Like,
Question.
go ahead.
Did you watch this documentary before you saw the Mario Lopez?
Yeah, I watched this years ago.
Years ago? Okay.
Yeah.
So, how do you personally feel about transgenders? I mean, I get a little bit what we've been talking about before we did this podcast, but just in general, what is your stance? And after this documentary, and after the Mario Lopez thing, how do you guess? Because before you even say that, I don't want to cut you off. I'm gonna let you finish what you had to say, but I think we need to go back to the Mario Lopez thing, because I guess that's the most, relevant thing.
So how about this? So how about I explain the Mario Lopez incident and where we're going with that, and then I'll talk about my views of transgender before and after watching the documentary. All right. So, Mario Lopez, he was on Candace Owens' talk show. I guess she has like a YouTube talk show.
And I enjoyed it.
And I actually did too. Which is, it sucks to say because I feel like she has a lot of horrible views, but I was just like, I was shocked. Like I was expecting some Tommy Lauren shit, and I was really shocked. But watching the interview, it did make me appreciate her a little bit more. Mario, he identifies as an independent, but he admittedly is conservative. He also talks about how he's very much religious and was raised in the Catholic Church. He also says he supports Trump because he is in office. He didn't say whether or not he voted for him. I got the vibes that he voted for Trump. But he was trying to skate around it. And he very much is conservative, but he is very aware of being like politically correct, and like how Candace was saying during the interview, he's very likable. So I think he's really good at riding the fence. With all of his underlying questionable views, the one thing that caught the attention in his views on Hollywood letting their children decide on their gender, he says it's dangerous and that a child should not be able to decide in something so serious until they are an adolescent. He also says to believe the notion that you just believe women, period, in like all cases as far as like rape and whatever, Me Too, he says, is dangerous as well, because women may lie, they can lie. But yeah. As far as so let's compartmentalize this.
Yeah.
So as far as the transgender thing, before watching, I shouldn't say transgender thing, but as far as my views on transgender people, before watching the documentary, I didn't know too much about transgender people. I had ignorant views on it, I guess, because that's not something, because like it's like being gay. It's just like I feel like if you don't really understand, you never had those feelings, you're not going to understand where a gay person is coming from. And you hear about these women who have said, these transgender women saying like their whole life they felt they were this way, and then they started doing it, they started dressing it, and then eventually they end up getting put out, their homes, and and then that's when they turned into these full blown, whatever they wanted to become. But after watching the documentary, it made me humanize them and not realize that. And part of me, and I guess it's just like my ignorance as well, I looked at it as sort of like they were over sexualized. Like, I feel like,
very materialistic.
yeah, like I felt like they just did it to. I used to feel like transgender women only did it so they could, get the guys they wanted. They could get, material things.
Son, I have to just add this in. And I know this women talking about race, but I have to say this. The one we were just talking about before, the one that passed, with all due respect. What was her name?
Venus Extravaganza.
Now, one thing she said when they first introduced her was that she wants to be a young, rich white girl. And she said because they get everything they want in life and they live so carefree. And I get it. Now, if you guys have not seen it, Venus is a white transgender woman.
Well, she's Puerto Rican.
Forgive me.
She does look white.
You know what? I put my own foot in my mouth. I digress.
No, that's why it's all Hispanic and black people.
Forgive me. I'm about to go in.
What were you gonna say?
I thought Venus was white. Because I was about to sit here and say, now, I get that you may want to be a woman. And just like anybody who just chooses to live that lifestyle. But the thing is, and I made this point, a conversation we had this weekend when some of your family was here. I said, if I want to be, and especially with the Mario Lopez thing, let's go back to the focus of the conversation.
Yeah.
Now,
Mario Lopez, he says that he feels like it's dangerous to let your children identify as what they want to identify as far as gender-wise, when they are still a child. To me, I took it as if they are a teenager and they have these same sentiments, then let's think about it. But as far as like a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old, that's too damn young to be deciding if you are a man and a woman. That's how I took what he was saying.
Yes, that's pretty much the gist of what he was saying. But I guess the issue, because, I didn't know exactly. I didn't hear the conversation until you told me. Until you showed it or sent it to me, excuse me. But I saw, like, on social media, like on Instagram, like on World Star or the Shade Room or some crap, I saw he getting some backlash behind it. And, I saw a little bit what it was talking about before you sent the video, then you sent it to me. And I thought maybe he said something like, very, very homophobic, outlandish, but when my expectations were here, and when I listened to that whole 40-minute conversation, and when I tell you the small dosage of what he was just giving his opinion on, and it's crazy because the actual host of the show, the sister, I like the way, and although I didn't agree with everything she said either, and I know you said the same thing, but at the same time, I can respect it because I feel like they're just being honest. And that was the whole purpose of the conversation. They were saying, okay, since you're conservative compared to you not being conservative, why is it that you as being non-conservative, you can say whatever you want to and do whatever you want to without any repercussions, but with me being conservative, why is it that I have to be very mindful of everything? And I get it, because at the end of the day, I'm not claiming me to be the most conservative person in the world, but this is my preference. This is my thing about going back to what Mario Lopez said in particular. I don't want to lose focus. Like he was saying before, the age, that's a big commitment. It could set up a lot more problems in the long run. Now think about it. There's some things right now as a 29-year-old man that I can sit here and decide today I may want to do, but then 5 minutes down from after I did it, I'm like, damn, I don't like this shit. Right. So at the end of the day, for you to encourage an adolescent child, let alone a teenager, I just feel like it's just all about circumstances.
So you feel like it's wrong even if this is a 16-year-old saying that they.
I can't say it's wrong for anybody's household, but it ain't going out of my household. That's why I always tell you about me. Because at the end of the day, I can only look at if I was your, I don't know, if you were my child, I don't have kids, but if you were my sibling or whatever, like, I would not encourage that. And just like Mario Lopez, I don't know nothing about his background. I know he's an actor. I mean, I don't really know. I don't watch his type of content. But one thing I will say, and I get it, and he has a Catholic background. I come from a predominantly Christian background, Baptist, Free Will Baptist. You know, my thing is when you kind of, the thing is in this type of society, the way things are going on with Me Too, you know, this whole, you know, acceptance of everything. It's like morals now have become debatable. And granted, what you have moral in your life and what I go by moral in my life doesn't need to be expressed between all of us. Just know everybody has their standards on how they live on life. But I guess now it's forcing the everyday person. And granted, let me tell you something. These rich ass motherfuckers who out here, who really got stake and shit, they don't live their lives this way. They don't give a fuck. They look at us as everyday people and look at us and laugh at this shit. At the end of the day, I'm going to ask you a question. Not saying that this never has happened, but you as an everyday person, like we saw these people in New York in the early to mid 80s, you're sitting here probably not in the best of circumstances, probably income wise.
Yes.
You're a minority at that.
Yes.
You're going to put yourself in this type of debt physically. You don't, everything when you have something medically happen to you, even surgery, you have side effects to it. You're not going to be the same. You're going to tell me because you want to be acceptable in the world, because you want to do what you want to do, you got to put yourself all out here. If motherfuckers outside don't like how you are, then fuck them. Now, I get it, the fact that people get killed, and that's different. People get murdered and shit. But that's the thing what I say, what Mario Lopez is saying. I wouldn't encourage that to a young person. And look at that Venus.
Venus Extravaganza.
Come on now. I don't even think she was 30 years old when this woman died. She was in her mid 20s. She said when she was 15 years old, the head of that what's it called, a shop?
House.
A house. She had introduced her to her and made her feel comfortable. And I bet it did, because if you already knew kind of what your sexuality was, but who's to say she did?
Family.
Who's to say she did? We're just looking at some documentary that came in the 80s where we're talking about people who agree with that. Obviously, that person who was the head of that house, that transgender woman, was older than she was. Who's to say that if she didn't get along in that type of situation when it was encouraged? Because see, it's always different after somebody passed. At the end of the day, I hate to say it this way. I know we can't take stuff back in time, and I don't know her whole lifestyle, her whole life story, no more than what she expressed. But at the end of the day, for what we know what happened, and we heard some of these people die from AIDS too. You should watch the documentary on Netflix. Like, I just feel like that's a lot to do to sit here and be satisfied with your life. Compared to you just sitting here, okay, I like this in life. I want to be this. I mean, like, I like feminine things. I really like being around my aunts more than my uncles. But at the end of the day, doesn't mean you have to go that out there. Like the guy said in my statement right here. Okay, like the drag queen said, I forgot which one it was. Yes. They said, I'm not going to go that far out there. That's a little excessive.
Because that is not who they are. Like, at the end of the day, like I was explaining to you, and you said you knew this. It's a difference between being a drag queen. A drag queen is someone who identifies as a man, but they perform as a woman. Transgender is someone who lives their lives as a woman. The guy, I believe Pepper LaBeija.
RuPaul is a drag queen.
Yes. RuPaul, outside of performing, always has on business suits and bald as hell. And it's the same thing with Pepper LaBeija in the documentary. Like, he moves through his life as a man, but when he performs in drag during the balls. I don't think that people will go through. It's the same with being gay. I don't think people will go through their life doing something so strenuous, something that potentially can affect them, like you said, side effects and everything like that. If this is not something that they truly wanted to do and
Drug addicts
become.
do it all the time.
You said who?
Drug addicts do it
But
all
that's
the
a
time.
difference, Don.
Hold up, though. And I'm not trying to compare I'm not trying to compare like being transgender or gay as far as a negative. But what I'm saying is, most of the time, the stuff that's bad for you is the most fun things. So my thing is, when you have a young child or somebody that's immature, we all got friends and family members who are immature, who want to sit here and say the most irrational thing, but when everybody else speaking rational or logical, you know what I'm saying? We all may want to be millionaires, take a vacation right now to Cancun or
So
whatever.
let me say this.
Go ahead.
If you were born a woman, but you had the same mentality as you do right now,
And I get it.
would you still live your life as a woman?
I can't speak on that because I don't have this scenario, this situation.
But that's how transgenders feel, though.
But my thing is, okay, to use that for one point, or not one point, to use that for one example, right? As far as, you know, for sexual preference or lifestyle, right? Can be used for.
But no, it's not just sexual preference, because we see like Caitlyn Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner identifies as a lesbian. What?
I think I heard this too. Okay. I have to be honest. And again, I don't knock anybody for accepting what this is the preference of the whole conversation we're having right now.
Be honest. Be honest.
But I think that is insane.
Why do you think
it's
that's
insane?
Why
Like,
do you think that's insane?
Listen. You have, okay, you're a man. You're a white man. Wealthy. Athlete. You are literally the Michael Phelps, Usain Bolt of your time in America. And literally, and granted, you can do whatever you want to. You ain't impacting my life. But you literally probably spent 60 years of your life to decide that you now want to be a woman. Now, granted, I get, and he eloquently put out there reasons why he did that when he first came out and when he first went through his process. And I get it. But me as a heterosexual black man and you as a homosexual black man, and this is what I say in the beginning, you know, your circumstances too, I think you have to keep that in the situation too. He's a wealthy man. I don't know if he came from a poverty-stricken background or he came from a pretty well-off background. But my thing is, you know, what came into him besides what he was relating to us before, as far as like, you know, his whole life he felt like he was a woman.
Exactly. That's what came into him. His whole life he felt this way, Don.
But the thing is, what I'm saying is, okay, and like the other people were saying in that documentary, and I've heard this in general, you say you want to be who you are.
Yes.
I have more respect for Venus than I do for Caitlyn Jenner. You know why?
Why?
Because you as a white, wealthy man took this enough, all this time. Okay, what is this going to show me? And like we were talking about materialistic.
Well, I'm fuck with Caitlyn Jenner in general, but no, I'm
the whole
listening.
Kardashian clique. When you talking about a lot of these transgenders are very materialistic, you know, very flamboyant. You know, my thing is, you know, they're just going to show me that money was more important to you than your lifestyle. Now that you don't have maybe per se that type of popularity now, or you don't have your flame ain't as hot now because of your age, you know, it's just like Michael Jackson when he got older, and people want to sit here. No, this I don't want to use Mike. Mike's my man, but this is what people want to say. They want to do a redo of themselves or a rebirth of themselves. You got to do something to make yourself stand out. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, my thing is with that, he could have did that so many different ways, so much time. There was so many other gay transgender celebrities who are out here. Like, at the end of the day, like, we were just talking about Ruth Paul. Like, Ruth Paul, out of all people, who was a black man. And this is what I'm saying, and granted, circumstances, who was a black man, openly a drag queen. One of my favorite movies, Crooklyn. I literally thought it was a young black damn woman at first. At the end of the day, where I'm just coming from, you being a white man who is wealthy, and it took you this long in your life to determine that you want to just now start living your life. I don't think per se that you maybe genuinely want to do this. I think per se you're just maybe having a lot of damn.
Keeping up with the Kardashians. I mean,
People will do a lot.
I don't want to be biased just
clout,
because I don't
money,
like.
and that's what Mario Lopez is talking about for young kids. Look how easily manipulated even an adult is, and we're in our late 20s. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Like, at the end of the day, you're really gonna sit here with good intentions. I don't give a damn if it's your own child, a friend, or a friend of a friend's child. You're gonna encourage you're gonna encourage a 13-year-old to sit here and make a lifestyle decision and maybe take medication that has side effects and all the nine, or even put that thought in their head that something they maybe fucking regret, because that's a lot to do. This ain't like just sitting here getting a t-shirt from damn PacSun or Foot Locker or a pair of shoes. This is your body. This is your life. And like we talking about AIDS. Come on now. At the end of the day, you get so many people out here, I think, are just confused. Not saying they don't want to do what they want to, and you can do what you want to. But I tell you what, just like
Confused
Venus,
about what? Sexuality?
Oh, didn't Venus even put out there that what they were doing hustling, and she even put out there that a guy sat here and felt between her legs, and she better get her ass kicked that time. My whole point is,
what I took from that is that she was not honest about being a transgender woman. I didn't take that. Even though that is what we've had conversations about this before.
Right.
The majority of the time when these transgenders are murdered, I do think that it is a man that's conflicted.
And I'm never going to tell you that's all of them. I am not putting that stigma on all of them. But key word, and that's why I think you and me lose focus it, and there's nothing wrong with it. But, bruh, at the end of the day, you are not going to tell me, out of the majority who sit here and choose to live that lifestyle, after what we just heard on that documentary, I guarantee you, even in 2019, the ones that choose to do that lifestyle, I guarantee you, just because out of ignorance or just out of because of empowerment, you may get the balls, the confidence, or just the darn and the interest of just going out there and trying it and see what's going to happen. Think about it. We've all did things, drove drunk, done did some things that you made regret. You trying to tell me now that you're empowered and you're living your life, and like most people who live that life say you want to be attracted to men, have sex with men? Come on. You're going to try to tell me that you're 100%, 100% responsible going out in your lifestyle, when we know niggas right now who heterosexual or whatever, who live in a more acceptable lifestyle, that they know how to live that way, and they just as dirty as hell? Come on, man. That's my whole point. At the end of the day, I put it this way. You can do what you want to. I'm a heterosexual man. I can live a lifestyle that's very dangerous as well. Sleep with married women or whatever, do whatever I want to do. But at the end of the day, you got a decision to make. So I gotta say, you got a fucking decision to make.
So with that,
you ain't no special than nobody else. What I'm trying to say, you ain't no special than no heterosexual person. You ain't no special than no gay person. We all the fucking same. So the same shit that you may be going through, okay, I can't sit here and say honestly that I've gone through exactly what you're going through. But then what I can say as a black man, I maybe haven't gone exactly what you're going through, but I've gone through something in a very special way. Very special way that you want to be. We can't sit here and separate everything from every damn. I'm
not saying that I've had it harder than you as a gay black man. I'm saying, transgenders.
But you have literally, and we had this conversation this weekend, that you literally said that black heterosexual men have it easier.
Because they do.
You just gotta do it yourself.
They do.
You just said you didn't say
it. But I'm saying what I was saying as me being in this moment, what I meant was me being a black gay man. I have never been transgender. I've never had interest in.
But you have been straight one time, right?
No, I've never been straight. I've always knew that I liked men. I've had sex with women. But I always knew.
Experimenting.
No, I wasn't experimenting.
Okay,
I was pretending.
Okay.
I was pretending to be something that I was not.
I
always knew I liked men.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I would say since kindergarten.
Okay.
But yes, I've had sex with a lot of women. Yes, but I now hell no. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm comfortable and I'm confident in who I am. But I'm saying like my experience with, not my experience, but my experience is different than that of a black transgender. I don't know what it's like to have been born in a totally different body that you feel that you have, and the society's telling you that you're crazy because.
Can I ask you this question?
Yes.
And I'm going to be honest. And I
Be
know
honest.
you're trying to have empathy.
Yes.
But the part of what I'm saying, and you cannot ignore it. Now, I can have empathy for anybody because what empathy really consists of, I don't necessarily want to see you hurt yourself or damn yourself. But at the same time now, and this is my point, we hear the reasons why these people decide to live this lifestyle and decide to make these changes. But then, okay, now I don't want to compare two wrongs, because I'm not saying what they're doing is wrong, but I'm just going to give you an analogy or something similar to it. Let's just say, and again, it's going to sound very crazy, but again, literally. Let's just say, and I use this weekend, I'm not going to think something crazy, I'm too outlandish. Let's just say I'm somebody who was very impressed or very interested in dinosaurs.
I know where you're going with this.
And
but
no. But because it's so literal, because when you're sitting here as a child, and that was back what Mario Lopez was saying, you know,
But that's a child.
I can say even a professional athlete. How about that? I can say a professional athlete for a 13-year-old child, right? Okay. Now, there's some things, like I said, circumstances, and I keep bringing that back up, always matter. Now, if you are somebody who has a talent and you have that type of niche, you see you have some type of promise. Even with that, ain't guarantee your ass gonna go pro. The chances of you going pro, and I don't know the exact percentages, but I guarantee you, it's about as much as you win the damn lottery ticket. And I ain't talking about the Mega Million, but just so many lotteries that everybody likes to play. At the end of the day, what I'm just saying, and you don't know too many people that win the big bucks in the lottery too often. You know, why are you going to sit here? Excuse me, that wine getting to me. Fuck, excuse me, John. What was I saying before that?
You was trying to relate to, to me, I took it as you were trying to relate to, because you said this before.
Okay, you just put me back. I know what I'm saying.
If you want to be a damn dinosaur, it's a difference between wanting to be a damn dinosaur and feeling like.
But see, I'm going to go too rational. I'm going to go too irrational. I put a professional athlete. But okay, you put me back there.
I know where you were trying to go.
But y'all know what I'm saying. I'm long-winded. I'm from the country. But anyway, what my whole thing is, you know, not illusion. Why is it just because a bunch of people are coming to, I guess, an agreement that, hey, we want to live this lifestyle, right? And I get it. That's like anybody who protests or anything. You won't know until you know. You know what I'm saying? You're being ignorant until you get the information taught to you or told to you. But I guess for me, what difference is it that so many black men who pursue athletics and end up going this far in their career, like high school, college, or even get to the pros, and don't make it? So who's kissing their ass sitting here telling them, okay, guys, we got to sit here and support your career. You got to make it pro. You got to do this. You got to do that. No, it's pretty much to the point. You got to make a decision. Okay, I got to do something else.
But occupation
I'm gonna
is
give
different.
up with, and I get
occupation
that.
is different than a gender.
I get that, but anything's a choice. I guess what I'm saying is, okay, I was focused on what Mario Lopez was saying about a young child, and you're encouraging it, right? And I gave the example about an athlete, like a professional athlete.
You have not got my take on that. I agree. I do think that being a child is too young to encourage your child to transition. You can understand, and me, like, and I've said this a million times, and my partner, he gets upset when I say this, but I don't want to have a gay son. I don't want to have a transgender son. But if that were to happen, and it's not because of how I feel personally, it's just because of society and the pressures of being part of that community on top of being black in our society is a lot. But I will support them.
Right.
But I
That's
do
love.
feel like exactly I'm gonna love my child regardless.
That's love.
But I do feel like at a certain age that is too young to be trying to
Okay.
explore.
I didn't know how you
now
felt
if you
about that.
I feel like 16, 17, if you just like you still saying the same shit. And even I mean every now and then if you want to put on a dress, I'll let you put on a dress. Like, you know what I'm saying, as a kid. You know what I'm saying? But as far as if this is something that's going to be continuation to the point to where I don't want my child to commit suicide behind no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because they always felt that they were this and then I didn't support them on their decision.
Like,
but I feel like when they are, I feel like at the maturity age, the time where you start feeling yourself and you want to start having sex, I feel like that's a logical age to, if someone really feels that they want to transition, to allow them to transition and support them in that.
I agree with you as far as maybe you're getting to high school. Now, I'm not agreeing with this dressing and shit and allowing girls dress. But anyway, what I'm just going with, I just feel like at the end of the day, we can all gauge ourselves and people, although we don't know exactly what people want to do. That's not yourself. I mean, you just can get a feeling. But my thing is, okay, you as a parent, and I'm not saying everybody's a parent, but just you as whatever you are to this person who's deciding to do this decision, and you should always try to put yourself in that situation. You may actually have firsthand experience. But my thing is, you can't be so selfish to the degree that you're acting like you said, John, for you, if you had a child, that you don't understand how the world is. You and me in our everyday lives.
And that's the thing. If they are comfortable in being in the world, like I said, 16, 17, and and I thought about this earlier when I knew we were going to have this topic. I remember specifically, I went to Minneapolis with my parents, and this was like before H&M was like popping. And this was like a new store, and I thought like the clothes was really cute, and I was just like, whatever. Like, I want to get an outfit out of here to wear today while we're in Minneapolis. And so I picked up this outfit, loved the outfit. And so, like, to me, it wasn't, nowadays, that's like I think people would have looked at it as like some skater boy. It was like a hoodie. And it wasn't even like a tight hoodie. It was like kind of a baggy hoodie, some cargo shorts, and some flip-flops. Like, you know what I'm saying? But my dad said what I was saying. He thought it was so gay, and he thought it was so weird that I wanted to wear that. And I remember it was like these 3 white boys, and they had on like skinny jeans and like these tight shirts, and they looked effeminate. And he's like, "Oh, you trying to look like that, huh?" You know what I'm saying? And that crushed me, because I'm just like, no, I'm trying to look like myself. And I thought this was like a cool outfit, like, you know what I'm saying? And you going in on me, and it's like, and I still like, I mean, my style has elevated, but I still shop at H&M. To this day.
And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a heterosexual man that you wear skinny jeans from time to time. And I mean, don't get me wrong, but that's why I'm coming from. They're no different. Like, okay, like you're saying this as a homosexual man, and me as a heterosexual, my father has done the same thing about my clothes. From baggy clothes, and for now in the 21st century, we got more fitted clothes. And my thing is, I guess that's one of the biggest things that I see from just me listening to things like we just listened to this documentary, watch this documentary, and knowing people who are homosexual, or people who I guess who live under the we call it behind the closet or whatever.
In the closet.
In the closet, excuse me. but
not behind the closet.
Lord, I saw that saying. But I guess for me, it's just like, bro, at the end of the day, I think most of it, and you bring up suicide, it's like, bro, you really have to go out here and love yourself, bro. You got to be your biggest cheerleader. And at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck who you is. I don't give a fuck if you was a damn Magna Donald Trump lover. I don't give a fuck if you is a damn hood ass damn felon. Like, at the end of the day, you gotta love yourself. So at the end of the day, okay, how am I supposed to have more empathy for somebody, okay, who puts themselves in a situation and it's not a situation, but just living their life. How about that? So since you get, I saw your face.
Because that was sounding crazy.
You're living their life. You're living your life the
Okay.
way you want to live it. And we all got that decision to make with circumstances and repercussions to certain ways you live it.
But it's a difference between, and I don't want to cut you off.
I got to cut you off before you cut me off. Okay. Because I don't want to condone something either. Now, granted, I know one of the biggest things why I feel like from you personally, why you have a lot of empathy for is some of these people are getting murdered. A lot of these people have gotten murdered.
A lot.
And I am not going to sit here and ignore that. Because that's where I come from as far as having empathy. Because nobody deserves, because the way you live, and it's not hurting anybody, you do not deserve to get your life taken. Let alone you don't deserve any type of damn backlash. Because at the end of the day, everybody lives their life whatever the way they want to, and we all can judge in different ways. So we all got the right to have an opinion.
And a lot of these people are getting hurt and murdered not because of a hate crime, not because of it's some homophobic person that it's people who are not comfortable with themselves. It's men that want a transgender woman, but they don't want to admit to society that they are attracted to transgender women. So instead of having to worry about this woman coming forward saying what y'all have been doing behind closed doors, you want to take her life. And to me, that's not fair. But we can go ahead and wrap this up. What are your final thoughts about?
I have to say this, and if I don't know who's listening to it, but I'm going to be honest.
Be honest.
I'm not even going to speak about, I'm just going to be a broad scenario. I have several gay friends, including my brother on his show, on my brother's show right here.
Our show.
Our show. But I feel like, if anything, you have confidence. And like I was speaking on a little bit before, like I've met as a straight heterosexual man, some of the most flamboyantly gay people in the world. Mm-hmm. But just like anything out here, like we're all in we live in a sales world. When you're able to sell yourself and be authentic, you'll get respect. And you know who I'm probably talking about right now, one person in particular, but I just know about a close friend of ours, very close friend of ours, that some of the people who we hang out in our very close circle, you know, from different backgrounds, different states, different parts of the world or whatever, but genuinely, from the heterosexual men, we always have respect for this brother. I mean, because at the end of the day, we knew he was gay. And he came off very, and proud of it. But at the same time, he was himself. A lot of people, I feel like, when they make these decisions, you feel like you have to change everything about yourself. If you don't like how you look, change how you look. But you still love who the fuck you is, because at the end of the day, you can't be nobody more than you can be better. You can't be anybody better than you can be your fucking self. That's all I gotta say. I'm sorry.
No, I'm trying to understand.
Oh, forgive me. Shut up.
No, I mean, it's just, you know, I feel how I feel about, I don't think there's anything wrong with what they're doing. I think that if they want to live their lives and look how they want to look, that is nobody's decision. I don't think that it is fair for you to go and I know.
Life is not fair.
But for you to go out into the world and wear the clothes that you want to wear, and nobody thinks 2 seconds about it, and then you want to look at
as a black man. Listen,
but I'm saying
it depends. And listen, I'm being honest. I know we're supposed to be wrapping up, but I have to say this. And again, I know we're going to agree to disagree.
We are,
but I just feel like, and I bring up race a lot in this situation, especially you being a black homosexual man. You should be able to relate this more than anybody.
I understand. I'm I say all the time. I'm black before anything.
As a parent, and you told me,
but I recognize my privilege,
and I get it. As a parent, you told me we both don't have kids. You told me and you told the whole world that you said that you personally wouldn't per se want to have a gay child. And the reason why you said that,
but not because of them, not because of me, but because of society.
And I get that.
But if they are comfortable and going into society, being the way that they are, I don't think that it's fair for society to want to judge them or put harm upon them because of that.
But what I say for the parents and people in these people's lives who maybe don't give them the support, they initially may want. And I feel like people who really love you and really, really got your best interest, they maybe don't say, because I could say, as a especially for your parents, somebody who really loves you is never going to sit here and tell you what you want to hear. And that's why I try to be with my friends. They're going to tell you what they think the best thing is for you. Now, you as the person who's getting this told to, you got to be able to decipher that information and take it for what it is for yourself. Because no matter what somebody tells me, if I want to go out here and do something, I'm going to fucking do it. But at the end of the day, different strokes, different folks. But it's very interesting. I enjoy this. I enjoy this shit. I love y'all.
And with that, thank you all for tuning into Problematic Kings. New episodes will be every Wednesday. Thank you so much. Bye.